I was running and lunging around our back pasture with Crazy Eddie Muldoon. The old woodsman, Rancid Crabtree, hungered in the shade, shouting orders. There's a big one! Landed there on that weed behind you! Mister, you gotta be quick if you're gonna catch hoppers. Listen to what I'm telling you now, or it's gonna be too late to do any fishing. How many did you caught?
6 altogether, but that's counting 2 that sneaked out of the jar when we were putting another one in.
What we're gonna do with 30 measly grasshoppers? You feel it just ain't quick enough. I held up the quart jar and peered in at the 4 measly grasshoppers. They stared back. You'd think there'd be an easier way to catch hoppers. Crazy Idiot looked at me.
Say, I've got an idea.
Forget it. Already that summer I'd had too many narrow escapes as a result of Eddie's ideas.
But this is a great idea. We can build a
Grasshopper Trap. The Grasshopper Trap by Patrick F. McManus. Wouldn't work. Ain't no way you can make a trap small enough to climb onto a hopper's foot.
not that kind of trap.
He then went on to explain his idea to Rancid and me. It was dumb. Probably the dumbest idea Eddie ever had. Maybe even dangerous. I was thankful that for once a mature adult was on hand to point out the risk and stupidity of such an idea. Sounds good to me. Let's go over to my place and build it. I struggled to hold the final piece of the grasshopper trap in place while the sweating old woodsman hovered above me, stretching and twisting strands of baling wire. Whew. Getting tired? Nope, how much longer? Just about got her done. Ain't that pretty? The grasshopper trap seemed to consist largely of baling wire, which held a legless chair to the fender of Rancid's old pickup truck. A gunny sack dangled limply from the end of a slender pole. A barrel hoop held the mouth of the sack open. The pole was suspended with strands of baling wire from a superstructure of 2x4s, baling wire to the chair.
You see how it works? The pickup drives down the road, and one of us sits in the chair and works the pole, so that the gunny sack scoops up the grasshoppers from the weeds in the ditch. Get it? The guy in the chair,
I get it. The 3 of us climbed into the pickup and went rattling off in search of a good grasshopper road. From long experience, I knew that Crazy Eddie would try to persuade me to take the first turn in the chair. After his invention proved safe, he would take his turn, but not this time.
I'll bet this grasshopper flap will catch a whole lot more grasshoppers than we could ever use.
I bet it will too. In fact, I bet I could sell the extras. I could make a pen out of wire screen to keep them in. When a fisherman come along looking for bait, I could just hand him out a dozen or so. Probably get a nickel apiece. I say, that's a good idea. Might even get rich off of selling hoppers.
How about me? The grasshopper trap was my idea.
And me, I helped build it. The great grasshopper magnate turned his shrewd, beady eyes on us. We'll figure something out. We soon arrived at a rough, narrow road that wound along the edge of Sand Creek. Hordes of grasshoppers crackled and sizzled among the dry weeds in the ditch. Here's your spot. Looks like a bundle of hoppers. Now, who's going to be the first to try out the trap? I could feel Crazy Eddie studying me out of the corner of his red eye.
Yeah, I don't know. It's sure going to be a lot of fun sitting up there on the fendel, watching those old hoppers pull into the trap, bouncing along there, the wind blowing in your face. You're just like a carnivore, I bet.
Either you two fellas know how to drive?
I sure do. Of course, I'm not old enough to get my license yet.
Hot dang! I'll try the trapper first, just to test her out. And don't worry none about not having a license, Eddie. There ain't gonna be no policeman way out here in the dingles. Rancid gave Eddie a quick lesson on driving the old truck. Just stomp down on this here thing if you want to go faster. Or you can pull out this thing. Sometimes you gotta pump up and down real fast on the brake pedal to get her to take hold. You know how to shift? Good. One more thing. If it away from my left hand, that means go faster. If it away from my right, that means go slower. He then squirmed through the network of baling wire and got himself seated into the tight confines of the rickety chair. Let her rip! Crazy Eddie stretched to peer over the dashboard while trying to reach the foot pedals on the floor. He pulled the gear shift down with a terrible grinding sound, and the truck lurched forward. Gosh, I didn't know you knew how to drive, Eddie.
Well, it ain't like I've actually drove before. I just know how. I've watched my pa do 100 of times.
There ain't much to it. Eddie steered the truck along the edge of the road, while Rancid raked the reeds with the grasshopper trap. We could see hoppers pouring into it. Such was the initial success of the grasshopper trap that Rancid apparently decided he could easily double his profits by increasing the speed of the truck.
Even though he was being bounced about a good deal, he waved his left hand. Crazy Eddie ground the truck into a higher gear. Would you pull out that thing now that makes the truck go faster? Why am I getting tired of pressing down on the gas knob? I pulled up the thing on the dashboard. The truck leapt forward with a roar, sending Rance's hat sailing away behind us. The grasshopper chick fled madly along through the weeds, harvesting hoppers. Crazy Eddie's face beamed with sweat as he wrestled the steering wheel and strained to see over the dashboard. He's waving his left hand again and wants you to go even faster. I couldn't believe the greed of the man. Okay, pull that thing on the dashboard all the way out. Now it's Rancid one. Careful, Eddie. You're getting into the ditch on this side. We bounced over several large trucks, ricocheted off a tree, hit a culvert, and landed back on the road. Okay, stop yelling. I was back on the road, didn't I? Ranced's waving both hands now. What do you think that means? I don't know. I wish he'd make up his mind. Maybe he's trying to signal coming up to Dead Man's Hill. Heck, I know that. It's all right. Eddie knows about the hill. Now what's he trying to do? Rancid had turned into a large bouncing blur on the fender. He's just showing off. But he better stop fooling around and sit back down in that chair, because we're going to the hill. Oh no! He let the GrasshopperTrap pole get broken off. What's he thinking of? That don't beat all. Well, I guess we'll just have to stop. I thought you were trying to stop, Eddie. I'm trying to! Now, which one of these things did he say was the brake? We passed the sheriff's car going in the opposite direction, but not by much. It wouldn't have been any problem if we hadn't been passing the wagon load of hay at the same time. The sheriff whipped his car around and came after us, red light flashing and siren wailing. What do you suppose he wants? Beats me. Maybe he's never seen a GrasshopperTrap before. The truck stalled on the uphill grade on the other side of the Sand Creek Bridge. The sheriff pulled in ahead of us and slowed to a stop. We got out of the truck and walked over to find out what he wanted. The sheriff was grim and sweaty and looked tired. What you boys doing grabbing that truck? Then he noticed Francis still perched in the tangle of baling wire on the fender. Crabtree! Is that you? It's real simple, Sheriff. You see, it's a grasshopper trap. Rancid going to catch these grasshoppers with it and put them in a pen and sell them for a nickel apiece and get rich. And please don't explain to me, son. I don't want to hear. The sheriff then drove off, shaking his head. Rancid raised a fist and shook it at Crazy Eddie. Why didn't you slow down when I waved my right hand here? Because that's all now. It is. Oh, so is my right. You sure about that? As we were driving home, I tried to cheer up the old woodsman. Well, look at it this way, Rancid. At least we know the GrasshopperTrap works. Don't talk to me about it. I held up the GrasshopperTrap's gunny sack, which appeared to have been run over at least twice. I think we might be able to use some of these grasshoppers to go fishing. You mean some of them hoppers ain't squished? Well, not all they're all squished. But we can make little balls of grasshopper paste and put them on our hooks. Can you imagine a grown man going berserk just because someone suggested fishing with balls of grasshopper paste?